Today's been awesome. Reason being, I got to grade a bunch of papers and then I got to throw them away. Didn't have to enter them into the grade book, didn't have to do anything with them. It was fantastic. The reason is, I'm not really worried about giving people credit for their work. It's a good life. The trouble is, if you don't like this life, we have to learn about how to give people credit for their work, right? So today we're going to talk about in-text citations. We're going to talk about what they are, why we use them, and what they look like. Then finally we're going to talk about why I'm so freaking picky about where the punctuation goes. So, first of all, what is it? You already know that when you're writing a research paper, you have to do research, right? And so you find all of these sources, your dictionaries, your encyclopedias, your journal articles, your academic journals, everything, and you have them listed in a bibliography at the end of your paper, right? So you need to, when you're writing the paper, show where each piece of information comes from. So for example, if I write 2 sentences that I got from source A, I need to tell somewhere in my paper that I got those sentences from source A. So that when Joe Schmo is reading my paper and he says, wow, this information is so interesting, I want to go look it up for myself, or I want to fact check this, I want to look it up for myself, or I'm not sure if this person should get their PhD, I want to look it up for myself to be sure, that person can easily and quickly do that. But they're not going through all 7, all 10, all 15 sources of yours trying to figure out where you got that information or if you even got it from one of your sources, right? So, in-text citations are showing you which source you used, and your Works Cited page is listing all the sources you used. So, third question I get from a lot of people is, why are you so freaking picky about the punctuation? I didn't make the punctuation. If you want to hear a fun fact about English that I think a lot of you don't know, is that the English language and academia in general uses a bunch of what they call style guides, right? So each style guide, it has different rules for how you have to do things. And to fit within those style guides, to fit within those publication requirements, you have to do all sorts of picky things. And so for English, we always use MLA, or the Modern Languages Association Style Guide. If you were in psychology, you'd use the American Psychological Association Style Guide. Sometimes you use the AP Style Guide. Sometimes you use the Chicago Style Guide. You get the idea. There's different ones. Ooh, if you're interested, sometimes words have different spellings depending on which style guide you're using. So be thankful that once you've chosen your career, you really only need one style guide. During this video, we're going to talk about how to do in-text citations for websites and for books. So we're going to start with the idea for websites. So when you're citing a website for your in-text citation, you need 2 pieces of information. First, you need the author's last name, and then you need the title of the article. That's it, nothing else. Simple. So, I had a student who turned in an article where the author's last name was McNeil Jr., and the title of the article was Zika cases in Puerto Rico are skyrocketing. That's it. That's all the information that this student needed to turn in her work. As a result, I had a student turn in this for her final piece. You'll see this is the quote that she used. This is the quote that she got from the source that she's going to cite in this project. So her quote is, and you'll see that she uses quotes here and ending here to show her quote, "Federal and local health officials are feuding, and the governor's special advisor on Zika has quit in disgust." Now you'll see that she includes her in-text citation to show the reader where she got her information. You'll see that she did not put a period here. She did not close the sentence. The reason is, if she were to close the sentence here, then we wouldn't have any idea why this was here. The sentence ends after the in-text citation always. It does not end here, it ends here. This is all one sentence. So, federal and local health officials are feuding, and the governor's special advisor on Zika has quit in disgust. Put your quotation, put a space. Create a parenthesis. Write the last name of your author. If it ends in junior, you can have a period there. But the last name only. Do not add any other piece of the name but the last name. Comma, you must have this comma, space, another quotation, followed by the title of the article. In this case, the author's last name is McNeil Jr., period, comma, space, quotation, Zika cases in Puerto Rico are skyrocketing, end quotation, because that's the title of the article, end parentheses, because that's the end of the information you're giving, and then close the sentence, because you're done. So you've got your quote, you have your author's last name, and you have the title of the article. Then you may close your sentence. You've now learned about what an in-text citation is, why you use it, as well as how to make an in-text citation for an electronic resource or a website. So now all we have left is to learn about books, and books are even easier. When you're doing an author in-text citation for a book, you need two pieces of information. First, you need the author last name, and then you need the page number. So I have this book here called Insurgent. It was written by Veronica Roth. And when I'm going to make my in-text citation, I'm going to use her last name, which is Roth. So all I write down is Roth. And the quote that I want to use, the quote that I'd like to cite in my paper, is from page 115. You'll see here that we have a quote from Veronica Roth's book, Insurgent, from page 115. The quote is, "She shrugs, but I am not fooled." You'll see that this is marked off with two quotes to show that that's the piece of information gained from the book. You'll note again that the sentence does not end here. We're not done yet. The sentence ends after the citation. So we've got the quote, a space, a parentheses, the author's last name, and the page number. You'll note that in this situation, there is no punctuation in here. No commas, no quotes, nothing else within this small range. You close the parentheses and you add a period. You're done.